Hey everybody out there, it's Timothy with Mana Rocks. Y'all ready for some M19? The core set is out. I'm coming off of the back of some pre-releases here. I have not drafted the set yet, so you get to see my very first draft of the set. And obviously, since this is my first draft, there are going to be some cards that I'm undervaluing, some I'm overvaluing, and we're just going to look to have fun with this first one. But I think this is a good pack to start with because I think all of the uncommons are good and our rare seems pretty good too. So Dark Dweller Oracle, and I'm probably going to read through a couple of these cards the first couple drafts. This one's a bear that lets you sacrifice creatures to play the top card of your library. You still have to pay mana to play the top card, so if you exile something too expensive, it doesn't work. But there is a black-red sacrifice theme, and it seems like a cool thing to go in on. Plus, this doesn't really have a bad downside, and I guess there's a mini goblin theme, so that works there too. But Plague Mirror seems incredibly good, given -1/-1. Skilled Animator is a little bit more of a draft around, turning an artifact into a 5/5, and I think Volcanic Dragon is good. For commons, I really like Courser, Manolith seems fine. And the 3-mana 3/3 is probably fine. Also, I'll see if it works online, but I noticed at pre-release, only some of the pack, like this isn't actually part of the pack, it's replacing the basic, but that's not every pack that replaces the basic. Like, see, this one has a basic, which is really freaking weird that they would do that, but who knows. So some people are going to have dual lands in their packs, and some people are going to have basics, which makes drafting in real life annoying, but anyway, we've got the rare missing from this pack. But we got a couple cards here. Rabid Bite is a very solid common. This was the best green common in the set it was originally in. Gravedigger's probably going to be my pick here. Understated for its mana cost, but it's always card advantage, gets you back a creature, and seems like it fits well in this sacrifice deck. Ravenous Harpy is another card that fits in this sacrifice deck, but this one seems a lot less good. We're going to look for things like Doom Dissenter and Dragon Egg that really pay us off for sacrificing creatures, but Gravedigger is going to be good in any deck that we play, plus it's pretty splashable. There's also Mirror Image, which I don't know how I feel about yet. I guess it goes way up in value the more creatures with enter the battlefield triggers you have, but we'll see. So, next pack up, Phylactery Lich requires you to draft a decent number of artifacts in order for it to be really playable, but it can take over a game after that. Exclusion Mage is an easy early pick. I think this is probably going to be my pick here. And if it weren't for that Exclusion Mage, the card that's standing out is Spark Tongue Dragon, which I think is a really strong common. 8 mana is a lot, but you can actually get up to 8 mana in this format. There are a decent number of ramp cards. We already saw, like, Manolith. And on top of that, like, you get the fallback of playing this as a 5-mana 3/3 flyer, which is just decent too. But Exclusion Mage is fantastic, and we'll see which direction we can go here based on what we already have. Double Cast does not strike me as good, but it could be good depending on what kind of removal you end up getting. I do like that even though I'm 3 different colors right now, I have a little bit of wiggle room as far as splashing and moving into it. I don't have any double color cards. I do like Sleep, but you need to be a tempo or aggro-based deck to really take advantage of it. I do think our cards don't really indicate that. Like, everything we have here indicates we're going to be some sort of grindy deck, but I do think Sleep is still just the best card in this pack. I don't have anything to combo out with Double Cast, and Apparatus seems like it's going to be the type of card that goes late, but who knows? We'll try and figure that out. Sleep is definitely the strongest card in that pack. Here's my boy Druid of Horns. If you can draft around this, I think the payoff's really high. I listened to a lot of reviews where people are down on this card, but I would not sleep on this card. You stick 1 R on this, and you just go away with the game. My pick is between Active Treason, which is fantastic with Dark Dweller Oracles, and is probably the most important card in the Sacrifice deck. There's also Omen Speaker, which is a card I just really like. Good grindy card. Card filtering on a decent body that can block. It's also Boggart Brute, but I'm between one of these two. Neonate seems like the type of card you want in black-white, not necessarily in a deck like this. Active Treason does seem interesting here, given the Dark Dweller Oracle. So I think I'm going to pick that up. I don't know for a fact that I'm red here, and I'm seeing a decent amount of each color. Like, white's the only color in this pack that's not really wide open. But I'm going to pick up the Active Treason, which is probably wrong. Wow, Horizon Scholar. Alright, well, blue is definitely open here. I kind of like Suspicious Bookcase, but not really buying it. Abnormal Endurance can work with a good number of our cards. It's great with Exclusion Mage and Gravedigger. It technically works with Dark Dweller Oracle. Is it under its owner's control? Yeah, there are some cool things you can do with this. If you played Supernatural Stamina in either the Master Set or in Amonkhet, then you know how good that card was. This is the same exact thing, it just costs 1 more mana. And yeah, you see all these late apparatuses. Hostile Minotaur is like really middle of the pack type card. Horizon Scholar is a nice little finisher though, so I don't mind picking that up. Ooh, Salvager of Secrets. I think this card's great. We do need good removal spells to really capitalize on it, but card is super sweet. Just gets back any instant or sorcery. It's either that or like one of these cards. Disperse is playable, but not fantastic, so I guess I'm going to pick up the Salvager of Secrets here. This card works really nicely with, not Supernatural Stamina, but, what is it, Abnormal Endurance. You can use it on this, trade it up for a 4 toughness creature, and then this comes back into play, you just get your Abnormal Endurance back. Kind of cool, right? What are we looking at here? Probably Dwindle. Dwindle's a decent removal spell. It's kind of like Deep Freeze. Not as good, but it does the trick. Deep Freeze makes the creature just basically irrelevant. Dwindle makes it keep its abilities. But in the case of Dwindle, they only get 1 block out of it instead of turn it into like an eternal blocker. It is nice that we could kind of be flexible with our second color. We know we're going blue for sure. We've got a nice little finisher. We've got Sleep, which will be better if we pick up some more aggressive cards. And then Gravedigger's perfectly splashable, but this looks like a Dwindle to me. Ghost Form, I think, is unplayable. That, what is it called? That horse we saw, the white horse, that card is really good. Now I have the option between Dwindle and another Manolith, or a Manolith, I suppose. Is this the pack I opened? Yeah, I think I'm actually going to pick Manolith here. And the reason is I would like to be able to play this Gravedigger. I have a use for large amounts of mana given some of my cards here. And Manolith opens up some other possibilities down the line as well. Don't think I'm going to get that Dwindle. Ooh, Essence Scatter or another Salvager of Secrets. Jeez. Blue is definitely open color. I'm glad we're in there. Let's see where we're at. Salvager of Secrets is nice, but I feel like the first Essence Scatter is probably really important to these sorts of control decks, which I'm definitely leaning down the path of a control deck, which makes Active Treason look pretty bad. Dark Dwellers doesn't look too great, but I have some flexibility here. I like the blue shell. Sleep looks like it's not going to be amazing in the deck, but we can definitely pivot where we're at based on what we have here. I could see going like down the blue-red route if we pick up something like Gutter Snipe or Enigma Drake. I like where we're at so far, though. We'll still consider everything. Active Treason is the most likely card to just straight up come out, and Dark Dweller Oracles is definitely not great off of a splash, but probably playable otherwise, right? We do want hard removal spells. Makes our Salvager better. Anticipate, Thud. Thud's another good card with Active Treason. Or Wall of Mist, decent blocker. I don't think I want this one, though. Anticipate's not amazing. I think I'm actually going to just pick up Thud in case I still go down this sacrifice route. Like, if I can pick up another Active Treason or two and then have some sacrifice outlets, it seems decent. Otherwise, Thud seems like a pretty poor card, especially in a deck where your biggest creature is like a 4/4. Double Cast? I'm not playing this card. This card seems bad. But I could see a world where Double Cast gets cast here. Double Cast into, I don't know, Active Treason. It's not good with Essence Scatter. It's not fantastic with Thud. Although you don't have to sacrifice a second creature if you double cast Thud, which is kind of cool. It doesn't really combo with Sleep either. I don't think I'm playing double cast here, but again, we could go down this spell route. Take this Neonate. Definitely seems better than Child of Night. This could actually be a, I don't want to say a finisher, but a decent card in a control deck like this if we can muck up the ground or stop our opponent from putting on a lot of aggression. Then I could see Neonate being playable, but again, I feel like this card is probably a little bit too low impact and a little bit too mana intensive to be pretty good outside of the black-white decks. And I say black-white, for those of you who don't know, black-white really cares about gaining life, which is where this card's power comes in. Rustwing Falcon, probably a little more playable in this format than it looks. Yeah, I would love to pick up an Enigma Drake here. Enigma Drake and Gutter Sniper cards that I'm actively looking for. Active Treason and Thud are like a little bit on the chopping block here. And black didn't seem particularly open, but Gravedigger's still a fine card. I have a Manolith. Might be able to pick up a dual land. Double cast, we'll wait to see whether that's good, and Thud doesn't seem very good at the moment. Active Treason as well. Guess I'll still just keep them in for consideration here. We did get some good blue cards, though. We have Exclusion Mage, we have Horizon Scholar, we have Salvager, and Sleep could be pretty good, depending on how this draft goes. In a control deck, Sleep basically just like buys you a turn, maybe 2 turns. In an aggro deck, it kind of wins you the game good number of times you cast it. It's a lot worse than the type of deck that we're currently drafting than the type of deck where you can capitalize it. I feel like it's probably best in like blue-green or blue-white, where you tend to have, you know, more aggressive early game creatures, and then you sleep them, you get a big hit in. They can only play maybe 1 more blocker on their next turn, and then you just get another big hit in. Take them to town. Put them to sleep. This card did win us a lot of two-headed giant games as well. Which, Sleep is pretty brutal in two-headed giant when you're smashing them with like 8 creatures and you tap down one opponent's, well, you guys know what I'm saying, because I clearly don't know what I'm saying. So what are we looking at here? Thorn Lieutenant is a nice rare, but it's off color and it's not splashy, so we're not going to take it. Oh, another Exclusion Mage. Oh, we could definitely tempo people here. Does lead me to want a little bit more of an aggressive deck, but this card is just fantastic, aggressive or control, so I think it's going to be the pick here. What else are we passing on? Pyromancer is a card I like a lot more than I've heard other people like, and Spark Tongue Dragon is playable, but this is going to be an Exclusion Mage for sure. If I end up black, I wouldn't mind the Abnormal Endurance. It works with, we have what, 5 creatures that it works off of? So yeah, get in there, Exclusion Mage. Would hate to exclude you. Alright, so next pack. I think Inferno Helion is very bad unless you end up in red-green, or if you have any of the cards that trigger off you having big creatures, like Sarkhan's Unsealing or Goreclaw, something like that. Otherwise, it's pretty poor. If I'm picking a removal spell here, it's going to be Electrify over Totally Lost. There's also Siegebreaker Giant, which is just a huge beater. I could see this card being great, but I might just want Electrify. It does look like I'm going down the control route. I don't know if a 6/3 is exactly what I want. Man, I just really, really want a Enigma Drake. There's another Active Treason here as well, but look at the quality of the red cards. I feel like people are going to love this card and take it highly, at least at first. Plus, Siegebreaker is just like generically noticeably good, so people will take that. And there's also Instigator, so I think I might get Active Treason back. I'm going to pick up the removal spell, though. That is kind of what I'm looking for. Foil Isolate might be worth money. I don't really know. Is Millstone something I'm interested in? Probably not, right? Trumpet Blast doesn't seem great. Not really a good pick for us here. I might just take the Isolate. It might be worth money. Or I could just take the Pyromancer, which is a okay little tempo card. These little aggressive creatures get a lot better when I'm capitalizing on sleep. If I can play out a bunch of creatures, they get better in the version of the deck that's going to play Active Treason. So I think this is going to be my pick. Millstone is a possibility, and I don't know if Isolate's worth money or not as a foil, so could be passing up on that. But wow, another Thorn Lieutenant. This card's great. Look at all the powerful green cards. These are all very strong. Starcrown Stag is very strong too. Arcane Encyclopedia seems sweet. It's pretty mana intensive. We're not super walling up, so I'm either between that or like Goblin Instigator. If I think I'm going to be a little bit more on the aggressive side. Again, I could shift into the type of deck where like Sleep is really good. Get rid of Double Cast. Think about these 2 cards. Instigator is just fine otherwise. All the green cards are good here, all 3 of these. So is it going to be the card draw spell or the Instigator? And I think it's going to be Instigator. I know some people might be looking at like Double Cast Lava Axe, Jose, but I don't think that's something you should be aiming for. Could be a nice way to close out a game, though. Alright, maybe we get a little bit more aggressive here. And this pack kind of sucks. So we have Disperse as a clunky removal spell, Explosive Apparatus, again, as a not great removal spell. Goblin Motivator, I think, is really bad. And then Smelt is a bad sideboard card, and Wall of Mist, not really what we want to be doing, although I could see it being relevant. So it's either Apparatus or Disperse, and I think I'm going to pick up Disperse. I do want to be a little more of a tempo deck now based on what I'm picking up. Thud doesn't actually seem great because we don't have a lot of creatures. Our biggest creature is 4 power. Gravedigger still looks fine. I would like to pick up at least one dual land if I can. But this is a nice start. Exclusion Mages help quite a bit. Electrify is a good removal spell. Sleep can be a win condition, and we've got a big flyer at the top end too. So maybe 1 or 2 more burn spells and then a bunch of aggressive creatures. That could do the trick for us. Uncomfortable Chill is a very defensive card. Not quite what I'm looking for. Abnormal Endurance is what I'm looking for, right? It's very good with Exclusion Mages, good with Gravedigger, good with Salvager, good with Horizon Scholar. I mean, it works on basically every creature in the deck. There's also Cinder Barons, which can help with the Gravedigger too. And then I'm really not into either of the blue cards on the end here for this deck. I like this if you're blue-white. I like this if you're more defensive, but it does look like we're going down a more aggressive path. I'll hope to get one of these, but I think it's more important to have the fix-in before I have the actual cards on Splash in here. So now I can pick one of those up pretty liberally, I suppose. Manolith and Cinder Barons are going to help with Gravedigger. Come on, Enigma Drake. I don't think we can get one out of this pack anymore. 18, 19, 20. Yeah. This has turned out interesting. The 2 things that really are standing out to me as not great are these 2. But I'm going to play Active Treason. Mostly because it's sweet with this. Thud is nice. Ooh, alright, so Onake Ogre might be good in this. I could pick up a Woodland Stream in case green looks like a thing that's going to happen here, but my deck might be into a 4-2 now. I've got a lot of tempo here between Disperse, Double Exclusion Mage, and Sleep. I could be into a 4-2. Lava Axe, still not what I want. Field Creep, like, they couldn't have put a better artifact creature. I know they needed, like, an Asfan for artifact creatures, but there could have been at least something a little more relevant and not terrible to put in this set, right? Onake Ogre is better with Thud as well. Not that we're looking to really Thud our own creatures. Let's see if we get that second Active Treason back. That's what I'm really interested in. We definitely got a lot more aggressive here as well. We're like a tempo deck, not a control deck, not really an all-in control deck. And it doesn't look like we had a lot of removal, but the Exclusion Mages help there. Totally Lost is interactive. Cinder Barons would be another black splash and would make playing black basically free. Excuse me. There's also Havoc Devils, which is a nice little trampler. I don't want cancel here, so I'm between one of these 3. Totally Lost is kind of clunky and expensive. I think I'm just going to take the aggressive creature. Like I said, we got way more tempo-oriented, so I want creatures on the lower end of the curve here that can definitely just attack through my opponent. Like, you can see the situation where I go, like, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, sleep you, or something like that. 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, Exclusion Mage, start bouncing and attacking, right? That's an ambitious curve, of course, but that's what we're building towards. How good is it? We'll also have to see how good Double Cast is. Double Cast basically just makes your removal cost 2 more, and then you get extra damage out of it. Green and red. Well, Wall of Vines is unplayable. I don't want Smelt here. So do I want another 4-2 or another 2-1? I really like the Pyromancer here. I know some people are skeptical of the 1 toughness, and I said in a lot of my early videos that you can get punished for playing 1 toughness creatures, but this is kind of what I want to be doing in this deck. This is definitely beats a little bit harder, but the Pyromancers always get in a small amount of damage. And if they end up being bad, then this is a good learning experience for us. Where they're not good is against cards like Doom Dissenter, where your opponent's just like, well, yeah, here's a 1-1, or token makers like this. This card seems bad. Seems cool, but bad. I'm going to pick Active Treason. That's pretty nice here. It does make my Thud a lot better and my Dark Dweller, so I like the Active Treason line now. And, I mean, we're on 21 playables. We still have a 3rd pack to go, so I like where we're at. We definitely shaped our deck together. Going to pick up Trumpet Blast, even though I could see not playing this one. It's good with the Instigator, but it's not too good with much else. It can steal some games, but unless we go really, really wide here, Trumpet Blast is not really what I'm looking for. I could see also not playing the Gravedigger, but I'm going to play the Gravedigger. Because decks like this don't normally want Manolith. I could see cutting this package. Or just not playing the Manolith and having the Gravedigger and Cinder Barons. My deck doesn't really want Manolith. It did at the beginning, but it doesn't now. Yeah, Lava Axe, maybe. Double cast Lava Axe. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty opposed to playing Lava Axe, but double Pyromancer, Lava Axe, double Act of Treason. We've definitely got ways to push through damage here. Looks like we might be falling into a bit of a trap deck, though. We'll consider everything for now. Enigma Drake would still be fantastic. We have tons of spells. Dwindle actually seems okay. Not playing Knight's Pledge. In fact, Knight's Pledge is probably pretty bad against our deck, even though that doesn't matter too much here. Sovereign's Bite is, for all intents and purposes, unplayable. Again, there's black-white life gain, so that's the really clutch case where you might want a card like this, but if you're not getting a huge benefit off of the life gain aspect, then you're not really doing much of anything with this card. Maybe there's a deck that's like all Sovereign Bites, Pyromancers, Lava Axes, something like that. The double white's never working. This is weird uncommon. +1/+7 is a lot, but it's not really a good combat trick. Felt like it could have been a common, people still wouldn't really want it. Just so weird to see a combat trick like that at uncommon. Who knows? What am I looking for? Top priority. Gutter Snipe would be good in our deck. See what I'm talking about? Like, can you just burn people out in this format? There's Lightning Strike, there's Shock, there's these Pyromancers, Lava Axes, Banefire. I could see that being a deck here, because you're always going to get these, right? Oh man, can you imagine going in on that deck and then the one black-white player at the table is like, I'm going to snap up all the Sovereign Bites. That's actually interesting. I wonder if that's a thing, because just look how much incidental burn we have. Yeah, sure, Alpine Moon. Oh, wow. Okay, so there are some options here. First one that sticks out is Brawl Bash Ogre. This makes our Active Treasons really good, and it beats down super hard. Gets +2/+2 if you sacrifice another creature when it attacks, and it has Menace, so it's already a 3/3 Menace for 4, which is strong. A little bit better, probably on par with Boggart Brute. And then it attacks as a 5/5 Menace. There's also Heroic Reinforcements, which is the payoff for going really wide here. Gives all of your creatures +1/+1 in addition to 2 1/1s with haste. So you add 4 power to the board minimum plus all your other creatures. And then Blood Divination is a really expensive way to take take advantage of Active Treason. Not really what I'm looking for, but Brawl Bash seems like what we're splashing for. That can get out of here. And following that up, we have Lightning Mare, which I tried to play this at the pre-release, but never actually had double red on turn 2, and it never really worked out. Volcanic Dragon's a nice curve topper here. Definitely better than Lava Axe, since it almost is a Lava Axe. Boggart Brute would be a nice one. Oh, we're getting something back from this pack. It's probably not the Pioneer or Salvager, but I could see getting either of these other 2 blue spells back, and I would play this if it wheels. But I'm going to take Volcanic Dragon. Liliana's Contract, not quite. Double black we're not doing, although I think this card's quite good. Lose 4, draw 4 for 5 mana. There's Surge Mare, which is kind of a weird card, but same problem as the other horse. It's double blue, that one being double red, and it looks like red's the majority color here. I could see Inferno Hellion being good in our deck. It's pretty good with, it's actually really good with Thud. It's good with Dark Dweller because I believe it shuffles back on end step. Didn't I just trash talk this card and I'm about to take it? I think I am going to take it here over just a curve filler or a clunky removal spell. I don't think Surge Mare is what I want. I don't even want to like use all my mana to activate this ability, but I'm going to take the Inferno Hellion. Fel Spectre's nice. Not much first out of this pack. Macabre Waltz would be better if we were majority black here, but we're not. Psychic Corrosion can be a win condition on its own, but you need a little bit of card draw to make that good, and we don't have tons of that. Epicure Blood is good for the life gain deck. Fel Spectre's nice. Whatever I'm taking here, it's not going to be that great. Ghost Form, again, just doesn't really do it. So I'm going to pick the Psychic Corrosion. Maybe there's a really slow deck where this can be boarded in and do the trick against them. Like, that's the second Millstone, too. See, you could just get there on this deck, couldn't you? I'm going to take Highland Lake. Makes my mana a little better and makes Splash in the Black a little bit better. So I can actually put a Swamp in the deck now, and maybe I play that Manolith, because I just got a bunch of 4s and a 6 as well. We're going to have to figure out the curve here. I would like the Skymarch Bloodletter as well. Suspicious Bookcase can make a creature unblockable. And also blocks pretty well, so it's good in a race. Seems sweet with some of these other cards, but doesn't seem particularly great overall. Could pick up another 4-2, which I might actually do here. Just be the beatdown. I kind of like the Bookcase, and unfortunately Salvager of Secrets isn't at its best in our deck. I don't want another one here. I like this a lot better in control decks, not these beatdown decks or whatever it is. Trumpet Blast can come out. Guess I'll pick up a 4-2. Definitely the beatdown, right? Abnormal Endurance. Again, this card would be fantastic in my deck, but I do think it's a lot worse off the Splash. I'm fine having just these 2 black 4-drops here. I don't want the combat trick. So I'll pick up Smelt, which doesn't even seem good. Smelt just seems like a bad sideboard card. I'm going to pick up a rare and put it in my collection. And you can't fault me for that, because I already did it. No pictures, no proof. I'll blame it on a misclick, despite me narrating the fact that I took it. How does Manolith look? Not terrible, but my deck doesn't really want to draw a Manolith. It just wants a Manolith out, which is asking quite a bit, right? Anticipate could possibly come out here. Probably cutting one of these 4-drops, maybe Havoc Devils. I know the Helion's not great, but I do have 2 ways to sack it for value. So if it gets a big hit in, I mean, if this deals 7, a lot of times your opponent is not incentivized to block this card since it's going to just basically kill itself on the end step, but the fact that it survives until the end of the turn lets you use these sacrifice effects, and I guess Brawl Bash isn't the best with it, but you get the point. Wow, Ravenous Harpy? This card doesn't seem great, but it's also just I guess this one's 3 mana. Again, that makes our Active Treasons very good. I could also see just, like, destroying people out of nowhere with this. You just sack your board, and it's like, alright, start attacking for 5 in the air. Do I want to splash for this Ravenous Harpy, or do I want to take a Mistcaller, which could be a decent sideboard card against some very janky strategies? It's probably the Harpy, right? I'm not going to play that Merfolk. It could be boarded in against cards like Rise from the Grave or something like that, but Harpy actually seems good in my deck, and it does make me want to play like Manolith plus Swamp here, so we're going to have to make a lot of cuts. Actually, not a lot. We have 26 playables here. I like both of our 6-drops, too. Blood Divination is not actually a combo with Active Treason just because it costs 7 mana, and I'm not really into that. I guess I pick up Alpine Moon because it might be worth, like, 1/100th of a ticket. And I don't see any real way we're playing Crash Through. Guess it's good with the 4-2s, but this thing already has Trample, this thing has Menace, this thing has Trample, so given your creature's Trample doesn't matter. I would consider that a lot more if I had the Enigma Drake, but we unfortunately did not see one. I do think Sleep is going to be way better in my deck now than it originally was. Start looking at things to cut. I'm going to try to find a way to get one of these 4-drops off. Dwindle does make Inferno Helion a little bit worse. Oh, I guess not, because this has Trample, so this will sacrifice. They'll still just take 7. I can see Helion being one of the cuts here. Dwindle actually seems good to get around big creatures. I like this deck. I really do. A lot of my cards seem playable. I could see Cut and Thud, because it's one of the worst cards on its own, whereas like Brawl Bash and Dark Dweller Oracles are pretty good on their own, and Ravenous Harpy's decent. Thud is really only good if I take Active Treason. I could also see Thud being a game finisher with like the Harpy or the Inferno Helion, so I kind of like it in that regard as well, but we are going to have to make some amount of cuts. I'm going to pick up this 2/3. It's either that or like a Foiled Duress, but whatever. Yeah, I'm not playing Blood Divination no matter what. I could see cutting Essence Scatter just because we're going to be tapping out a lot. Not going to be keeping mana up too often, and we have like Disperse in that spot. Although Essence Scatter is usually just fantastic. If you're ahead on like creatures and stuff and they go to replay something, you Essence Scatter it, you just stay ahead. It's also pretty good with Exclusion Mages where they're going to recast their creature and you just scatter it. Am I supposed to cut one of the 6-drops here? Maybe. Am I supposed to cut like Gravedigger? I think Havoc Devils is probably going to come out. 1 Dwindle. I don't want to play Manolith, but I do think Ravenous Harpy is going to be good in the deck. Maybe not. Maybe Ravenous Harpy is not worth splashing. Already have the 4 drops. Yeah, let's go and get the Harpy out of here, I suppose. Ghost form. I'm not playing anything else here. I'll pick up Ghost form, I guess. Oh, that's a late Stag. Stag is fantastic. Remember Territorial Hammerskull? Well, it's back, and it's an Elk. Yeah, Dwarven Priest is also a decent card. Nice little curve filler here, good in the life gain deck. Probably not amazing by any means. And we get to go to the part of the video where we have to make 1,000 cuts and don't know what to do. So I think Anticipate can come out. If I had a Gutter Snipe, I would be much more inclined to play that. Essence Scatter is on the chopping block. Thud is on the chopping block. I kind of want to find a way to get that Harpy in here, but I think 3 black cards is probably too much for like a Barrens, a Manolith, and a card. I don't even want to play Manolith really, but my mana fixin is Manolith and Cinder Barrens. I don't want to have dead cards in my hand, especially in a tap-out aggro deck. 1 Dwindle could possibly come out here, just because it does give them basically a free block for the turn. It's not good with Exclusion Mage, so on and so forth. Disperse I like keeping in. I don't know if you can hear that or not. People are banging on the wall next door. Manolith could be out if I wanted to be super risky, and then Havoc Devils is also the 4-drop I'm most considering cutting, although I think Inferno Hellion might be the right cut there. So let's go Essence Scatter just because we are a lot more aggro. I like keeping in the active Treasons here. And I really want to cut Manolith. Although Manolith's good with these, it's just bad top deck late in the game. I guess I'm going to keep Thud just as one more way. Oh, I only had to cut 2 cards. Let's put these over here for a second. Let's not forget about them. Yes, I know about the Woodland Cemetery. You don't have to keep telling me, but I understand. I messed up. Is something like Essence Scatter just better than like a Dwindle here? It's Havoc Devils. Is there a way to get this Harpy in and not hurt my mana much more than it's already hurting? The Harpy just seems good with a lot of different cards that I have going on. And like I said, this could be the type of card where it gets to the late game, you just sack your other 4 or 5 creatures and you just win with this Harpy. Not really loving it though, right? I kind of don't want the 2nd Dwindle when I already have double Exclusion Mage. The problem with the Harpy is that it makes me want to play Manolith here too. So I guess I just keep the Dwindle in. It lets me keep attacking too. If I get some creatures out and I Dwindle something, I basically just get to keep attacking through. So I think this is what my deck's going to look like. It is a little bit on the heavy end here. I guess I don't need Salvager of Secrets. Does get back to Active Treason, gets back Thud, gets back Disperse, Electrify. It seems decent. Gets back Sleep. I'm still going to play it here. Gets back enough targets, I think, that it's just going to be decent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 targets. It's not at its best. Do I want to go, like, cut this, cut Dwindle, and play Harpy plus Manolith? See how that looks for a second. It lowers the curve a little bit as well. It gets that Harpy in there, which, again, I said was going to be pretty good. I have 1 Highland Lake, so I can probably play 2 Swamps in the deck, since I have my red covered on these 2 lands, which is nice. Let's see what that looks like for a second. Majority red. Funny how that worked out, since most of my blue cards came from pack 1. Sleep, Exclusion Mage, Horizon Scholar, and then blue just wasn't that open. There were tons of these salvagers, though, but enough of that. Let's see. So, no. Let's go 7, 6, that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So what does this look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources is probably not enough, but actually might not be too far off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red sources. 9 is probably the minimum I want for this. So I could cut a swamp here for an island, but I do have 3 black cards as well. If I cut a swamp for an island, I still have 3 black sources, right? No. And that puts me at 8, 9 for the islands and the mountains, and then 2 black sources. So we got to get a little bit lucky not to get screwed on these cards here. All right. Is this what we're playing? We're kind of a mashup between a tempo aggro deck and like a sacrifice theme deck. So definitely got some legs to stand on here. And we've got 2 nice little curve out creatures here. But yeah, let's see if this works out. The one cut that I'm looking at possibly here is like Havoc Devils for like maybe an Essence Scatter, something a little more interactive on the low end. But I like where we're at right now. Let's try it out. So again, I'm Timothy with Mana Rocks. This is our first core set draft, and I'd like to hear your feedback on what you would and would not play here. But I think we got an interesting deck. Let's see how it does in the matches. All right, y'all. Timothy here with Mana Rocks. We are in match 1. I just realized how long of the intro that draft was. It was like 35 minutes or something like that. And we have a decent hand on the draw. It would be much better on the play. We could probably get some aggro going on, but for now, we're going to just hope our opponent doesn't have too much to block us, and we're going to play out this Pyromancer on turn 2. I have drawn 2 black cards already, and I have not drawn my 3rd land, so assuming I don't draw my 3rd land, this could go very, very poorly. But if I do draw my 3rd land, I get to play Exclusion Mage and just kind of tempo here. My opponent is leaving the Drill Master back. And unfortunately, I did not hit my 3rd land, but I do have the option to play this Dark Dweller Oracle, which I like. And I think I'm going to attack with the Pyromancer here. Not doing too much else on defense. If they want to be fancy and use a trick to save their Drill Master, then sure. Otherwise, they just trade off, and fine with that. Oracle's pretty sweet if I get an Act of Treason here. This could get Essence Scattered. It does not. So, again, 3rd land, be pretty sweet. Preferably a swamp, hopefully not a tap land, but we do have some of those in our deck. Ah, nice. So now we get to play a 4-2, which looks great against them, although this looks like a Bone to Ash. I'm not sure how much I want to jam a creature into a Bone to Ash. It's very unlikely they don't have anything. I could just pass the turn, or I could bite the bullet and let him have this Ogre. I think the upside, I think I'm not supposed to pass and just do nothing. So if it gets Bone to Ash, then sure, they have it. Oh no, they just didn't have anything for it. Could be playing into Cleansing Nova as well, the 5-mana Wrath. Gearsmith Guardian gets +2/+0 as long as you control a blue creature. Alright, well, land please. Sleep. Exclusion Mage is going to bump that, and we're going to hit for 6. That seems awesome. And then if I draw a land, I can go Act of Treason, sack your guy. Let's see how much damage we're doing first. I think if they just replay that, I think I just kill them with Act of Treason anyway. I don't even have to sacrifice anything. And if I draw a blue source, I can sleep them too. So deck is definitely working out, but I think that's on account of the opponent not having anything. So yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will even get +2/+0 because I'll control a blue creature. So this seems pretty dope. I don't know that there's anything here that's going to stop me for 1 mana. Alright, nice. Against blue-white kind of artifacts, I suppose. That's what it looked like, but we didn't really have much to go by. So I don't think I'm doing much sideboarding. Essence Scatter could be... This is probably a lot better on the play than it is on the draw anyway. I think I'm just going to keep things the same for now until I have maybe a little bit more information. I didn't pick up a Smelt anyway. I'm not entirely sure I would even bring in a Smelt, having only seen 1 artifact, so... Let's leave things the way they were and see if we can do that again. Opponent must have been pretty flooded when they did nothing on 4 mana. Got a little lucky that they didn't have anything there. This hand is a lot worse than our first hand. Ravenous Harpy is close to already mulliganing, so I'm tempted to mulligan this, and I think I will. It just has no action going on and a dead card. I think I need a little bit of action. This is worse, but if I draw a mountain, it's not bad. And the opponent kept... Alright, I'll keep the mountain on top. Dwindle helps us deal with anything super problematic that comes down, and we do have at least one thing to play here, so not too disappointed with it. Our opponent's name is Cheese Pizza. Alright, no 2-drop. That's nice for me, and I would not mind just drawing lands here. Question is whether or not I attack with the Inferno Helion when I get the chance to, which I probably will. Like I said, Dwindle looks like it'd be good against Helion, but it's not because this would sacrifice as soon as it blocks. Alright, let's see if we run into a counterspell this time. I don't mind just the opponent not doing anything here. If I can get up to this Volcanic Dragon, it beats down pretty hard. Could have a cancel here. As far as I know, there are 3 counterspells in the set. There's Cancel, Essence Scatter, and Bone to Ash. So, kind of weird. There are 2 spells that straight up counter only creatures, and then there's Cancel. And I don't think there's another counterspell. I'm not really in love with trading my 4-2 for this 2-2, but I am kind of in love with Havoc Devils. I would like to keep Inferno Helion until I have one of the spells that can sacrifice it. So I think I'm going to go Havoc Devils here. Do I trade the 4-2? One reason not to trade the 4-2 is if I draw Sleep or something, then I can just get past this anyway. I'll just play Havoc Devils and pass. I think I've got enough upside in my deck. Oh, they drew Essence Scatter? Interesting. Well, I'm definitely not attacking now. I don't want to trade my only creature here. Kind of hoping they play something I can just dwindle or do nothing so I can at least get this 7-3 on board. This is a suspicious attack. Makes me think that they're just going to play a creature on board. Ooh, Exclusion Mage. Oh, so it's one of those games, huh? Oh, into another 2-drop? Wall of Mist? That card is not good against me. Here, I think I'm going to play Helion. It actually blocks. And then Volcanic Dragon next turn. Wall of Mist is an obnoxiously good blocker against Inferno Helion, though. If they do anything, if they attack at all, I'm just going to put Helion in front of it. Does this bounce back if it blocks? Yeah, it bounces back if it blocks, too. Interesting. This is going to get dwindled at some point. What? Alright, well, I'm fine, actually. This is just going to trade, but I do want to tempo the opponent here. I don't want them to have a huge board. So I'm actually fine trading off the Helion. It didn't die from combat, but it gets shuffled back on blocks. Dark Dweller Oracle. So if I just play Volcanic Dragon and turn sideways, they get to smash in for 5, 6, 7. The alternative would be go Ogre plus Dwindle your 5/5. I could even play Dark Dweller Oracle, and then play Volcanic Dragon the turn after that. How much do I love the idea of getting hit for 7 next turn? Probably don't care too much, right? Also, they're just going to get an attack off this Drill Master anyway. I could play Volcanic Dragon and say pass. One upside to get an Oracle down is in case I draw Active Treason. I have that option, but I can do that anyway. This plus 1 mana plus Active Treason is enough to just kill a creature. I think I like going Ogre plus Dwindle here. The Ogre's not actually great on this board. I'm going to take 9 and just get a hit in with the Dragon. Hope my opponent can't put too much more pressure on the board. But I am going to take whatever hit they have coming my way this turn. So at least 7. Could be more if they have another Drill Master or one of those Angels or something along those lines. I did not expect the Essence Scatter from them, though. Drawing my own Exclusion Mages would be some of my better draws here. just because it lets me interact, add more to the board, and just keep them off of their big creatures for the moment. Plus, I can play Exclusion Mage and one of the other spells this turn. Bunch of different lines there. I decided not to go with the Ogre just because it's not blocking this anyway, and it can't attack into the Wall of Mist, so Dwindle plus Ogre doesn't look too great. I'd rather just take the big chunk here and have the 5-turn clock going, although my opponent has paused for a moment, so I might pause and come back when the opponent realizes that they're getting hit with a Volcanic Dragon. This doesn't fly, does it? No. Alright, we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, and the second we left, our opponent came back. They are playing an Ether Shield Artificer, so beginning of combat on their turn, they give a artifact creature +2/+0 and indestructible. So the Guardian can attack as a 7/7. So I did take 2 extra. I'm down to, what, 7 this turn? Pretty strong. Wouldn't mind drawing Electrify. Here I think I do need to go Ogre plus Dwindle. Interested in whether or not I leave Volcanic Dragon back, though. We're going to Dwindle this thing. What happens if I play the Ogre but I don't leave the Volcanic Dragon back? Then they get to attack with both. I would probably trade the Ogre off for the Ether Shield Artificer at that point. Sure. I am going to attack with this Dragon. Note that the Artificer can still target this and make it a 1/5. And it'll be indestructible, so there's no reason to block it. So I imagine this is going to attack maybe all of them. The Ogre would for sure block Artificer here. I do need to draw well here, and at the very minimum, next turn, if I'm still alive, I need to stop attacking with my Dragon until I draw into something. But I like trading the Ogre, the Ogre off if I can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could die if they have the +2/+1 Inspire and Charge, but we're going to make this block. Sure, the opponent's fine trading that off, which is weird. Means this can't attack anymore. Ooh, Herald of Faith. Ooh, Exclusion Mage was a nice one. So we go Shaboom. Get this Herald of Faith out of here for our turn. Darkblower Oracle, and now I actually have a pretty good attack with my Dragon. Maybe they just use their whole turn to replay that Angel. And I could sack something to the Oracle. Best draw, of course, would be Active Treason, because then I get to just kill them. And I do have 2 Active Treasons. Am I fine taking 2 here, or would I rather keep Exclusion Mage up as Sacrifice Father? I'm going to take 2 and hope they just don't have some dumb trick. If they have a combat trick that gives +2/+0 like a Mighty Leap, then I die. But I would actually rather keep this Exclusion Mage around so I can sack it to the Goblin Dark Oracle. Is it Oracle? Yeah. Dark Dweller Oracle. I think I've been calling this Goblin something the whole time. Alright, let's see what you're going to play. Yeah, just Herald of Faith. So we're hoping an Active Treason off the top. But Mountain. Alright, so question now is, do I sacrifice Exclusion Mage to try and hit something off the top of my library? I think the answer is yes. Can't just sit around and not do anything, right? Sacrifice this. It can even sacrifice itself if I wanted to get super risky. Alright, something good, something good. This can play lands, which is nice. Viashano Pyromancer. That's not terrible. We'll cast it. And that actually lets me sack again. So I put him down to 6, and I can actually sack this to the Dweller as well. I have 1 mountain up. I think this, you can play it, yeah, I can play it this turn. So I get 1 more shot at either killing Herald of Faith. So I could hit Electrify here. Sack the Pyromancer. I'm really just hoping Active Treason. Not a land. Gravedigger. Can't play that one, can I? So that's just stuck on top. And I guess I'm fine with that not being on board here. Alright, let's see what the opponent's got. Gravedigger just gets exiled. That does mean if I survive, I'm not drawing Gravedigger, though. Disperse the dragon. So let's sack that here, and we could hit our own disperse. I don't think I have any double red cards I want to hit. So sack the dragon, and if we hit our own disperse, we can save ourselves. No. Alright, so we die to Herald of Faith, which is fine. Against our opponent's deck, they're kind of like just they're kind of an artifact deck. Not exactly. Dwindle seems decent. We don't have a lot of interaction, but we could have hit like Exclusion Mages. We had a lot of outs that game to win. Psychic Corrosion doesn't seem great. Essence Scatter does seem pretty good, though. So I'm going to cut just a dorky creature here for Essence Scatter. I guess I'll cut one of the like little splash creatures. Make my mana a little bit more consistent there. Essence Scatter seems good against their top-end threats, right? If I can get a threat or two down. And what do we have for our opening hand? Wow, this hand seems pretty dope, so we're going to keep it. Could use a piece of removal, but Exclusion Mage gets us there, so I do like this. We get to go Highland Lake. What would really put it over the top is a 2-drop. One of our Pyromancers, or even our little Instigator guy. Or whatever the one that makes another 1/1. Is that Instigator? Yeah, there's Goblin Motivator, which is the one that taps to give haste, and then there's Goblin Instigator, which is the 1/1 that makes another 1/1. Alright, Cheese Pizza, do your worst. Meandering River. Ooh, Essence Scatter might do the trick. Now I'm hoping they just completely jam a 2-drop into this. I don't think they will, but they have not played a lot of early game creatures. If it was like a Wall of Mist, I'd be like, sure, whatever. I could get Essence Scattered back here, which would be very annoying. But we're still going to play our 3-drop and hope they just don't have an interactive spell. They could disperse it, too, if they wanted to just make sure I don't tempo them. Alright, or they could have an Exclusion Mage, which is not something I really want to Exclusion Mage back, right? Active Treason. A little late for this game, but I can see it being good. I'm going to play Hellion for curve reasons. They're probably going to attack with Exclusion Mage. I might just block it, to be honest. Although the 7 damage here is pretty good. Am I fine trading my 4-drop for their 3-drop? And then I can just go Exclusion Mage. If I draw a land, I can do that plus Essence Scatter. Don't think I want to take too much damage here. If they tap out for a creature, I'm almost certainly getting in 7 with this, though. Nah, I'll let it. I'll let the attack through and see what they do afterwards. Like I said, this is very likely to get 7 in here. Brawl Bash. Ooh. I guess that's actually not insane with Inferno Hellion. I'm going to attack with the Hellion and play Onake Ogre. Actually, I'll just play Brawl Bash. Yeah, so that's probably a common line of play there for people to just take the hit off Inferno Hellion. Let's see what happens to Brawl Bash here. Bone to Ash. Alright, so they did have a Bone to Ash in their deck. And I get punished pretty hard there, but I think it's fine. Again, we do want to hit the 5th land so we can go like Creature plus Essence Scatter. Exclusion Mage plus Essence Scatter is very good here. We don't want our opponent just go and tap and do nothing, though. Yeah. Alright, no Essence Scatter? No Counterspell? Was this uncommon before? I know it was in Origins, but I don't know if it was uncommon or not. Alright, now we get to keep up our own Essence Scatter, which is nice. Again, I want my opponent to tap out for a juicy 5 or 6 drop creature here. Sift. I'm okay with them doing that as well. It's good. It's very good. They get to go draw, discard a land. So they're back up to 7 cards. How likely am I to jam a Volcanic Dragon into them this turn? Pretty likely, I suppose. And, I mean, again, if they have Scatter, they have it. They didn't have it last time. Oh, they drew it. Kind of obnoxious, so our hand is looking a lot worse. And Essence Scatter is still pretty bad against Exclusion Mage, but... wow, red mana? Did we know about that already? Well, opponent has drawn well against us, but I don't think that's how this is going to go all the time. Trusty Pack Beast getting back nothing. Alright, Exclusion Mage is probably going to bounce this Artificer. Havoc Devils is a good draw. I think I actually rather just play that and keep up Essence Scatter. Four-two's not looking great here. Not in a great position. The opponent's counter spells were very timely there. Like, they could have very easily not hit Essence Scatter there, and then we resolve Volcanic Dragon, but it's fine. Sometimes the opponent draws well. They still have 4 cards in hand, too, and we haven't hit him for a huge chunk. Switcheroo, Havoc Devils for Exclusion Mage. This is actually fine because I have a Exclusion Mage, so I'll be able to bounce the Havoc Devils back to my hand. Disperse their own Exclusion Mage. Okay, opponent's going for the cheese. That's fine. I'm going to trade the 4-2 for the 3-3 here. Actually, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take this hit. Does mean I get in 4 on them, and that's very important with Essence Scatter here as well. Plus, I'm going to probably attempt to Essence Scatter back their guy. Or maybe not. I'd probably go Havoc Devils, Essence Scatter. Like, if I don't play the Havoc Devils here, that looks super suspicious. Let's go ahead and attack here, put them down to 9. And then what happens if they play their own Exclusion Mage? Let me see here for a second. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's not enough. Is it worth... I know one card in their hand is... whatchamacallit. Alright, let's do this and just keep up Essence Scatter. If I play Havoc Devils, it just gets bounced back by whatchamacallit. Kind of okay with this attack. So they bait with a creature here. Oh god. Banefire me for a billion. Alright, well, good game, opponent. So, we lost that game, which sucked. I think our opponent just drew exceptionally well against us. Like, a lot of these cards in the wrong order, we would have been able to punish, and our hand was very good, but can't do anything about the Banefire. So, we lost there, and sometimes you just get fireballed out of the game. We'll see you in round 2. Alright, we're back for match 2 after getting fireballed out of game 1, which it was a close game, but I do like our hand, and again, this would be a great hand to have on the play, but unfortunately we're on the draw. At least we get to curve out here. And we do have Disperse for a little bit of interaction. So let's go ahead and ship it back here. I like going Instigator into 4-2. Oh, Instigator is fantastic against this thing. And if they try to like aura it up or something, we can always disperse it. But Instigator is exactly what you want to play against 3-1s. We did draw the 4th land as well, so Inferno Hellion looking decent here. I expect no attack. Oh, I'm for sure blocking. You can use whatever trick you want there. I think it's right to block with the token in case your opponent's ever in a position where they need to like Exclusion Mage or bounce the creature you have left, then you want them to actually bounce the body, not the token. So here, that was a bizarre attack. I guess they figured it was going to happen anyway. That trade was going to happen, so they might as well. Although I'm only attacking for 2, they can attack me back for 3. Alright, against another blue deck here, let's see if they have counter spells as well. Not quite. God, Banefire. Never feels good, but you gotta concede to it sometimes. I think our opponent last game just had the right cards in the right situation. And definitely punished us for it, but it was a good set of games. Not too disappointed about it. I do think maybe that turn I like tapped out for Volcanic Dragon into their 2 mana. Maybe I should have done something else, but I'm not sure what else I could have done. Ooh, opponent's tapping out for Sift. I get to just smash for 5 here. Get to play an Inferno Hellion. And I haven't... Oh my god. Was my opponent just dead next turn? No. So I'm putting them down to... what, 14 here. Alright, well, Inferno Hellion is a super lava axe, apparently, but it takes a turn to go off. Opponent, again, Cleanse and Nova is a card I should watch out for. Daybreak Chaplain is a card I don't particularly care about. And Aviation Pioneer. So that does stop the Assault from the 1/1s. But I do have an Exclusion Mage plus a Disperse. If I draw a land, I get to go Volcanic Dragon as well, so what do I do here? So Exclusion Mage is not going to hit Aviation Pioneer. But I could see getting rid of the Thopter and attacking with these two, and then if they want to double block the Ogre, I get to disperse it. Not attacking with the 1/1. Oh, I can disperse Inferno Hellion back to my hand too. Unfortunately, Exclusion Mage can't do that. I'm a little less inclined to do that, but I think I am going to go ahead and go Exclusion Mage, kill your Thopter. Maybe I just kill the 1/3. Yeah, just kill the 1/3. Then they don't even have the option to double block this. Or I guess they could block the Ogre, but that's not going to happen. Alright, this is going to get rid of the actual creature on board, so they don't gain any life. We are going to smash for this much. Could probably get that 1/1 in there too, to be honest. The upside of doing that is that they have less creatures, like they can't double block this. No, let's get 11 in there. And then just untap. Yeah, alright, so we're going to just do that, and then I'm going to disperse the Thopter token. Maybe I just let this happen. Nah, get that Thopter token out of here. So this takes out their board. They go down to 7. We do have 7 on board, so Active Treason looks good. They have Omen Speaker. They have the 1/3 Lifelinker as well. They went Scry top bottom. And they played 2 creatures. Well, there's Active Treason. Does that win me the game here? If I take the 1/3, attack with everything, they block 4, they take 2, 3, 4. That does not win me the game here, so I'm more inclined to go attack with Ogre and then replay Ogre. I trade in a Nake Ogre for a 1/3 here. That doesn't seem that great. Let's actually just play Ogre and pass turn. Hopefully they'll put a big flyer on board and I can Active Treason that. But Volcanic Dragon's going to come down at some point here, and I'm not really into the idea of throwing away creatures just to get in like 2 or 3 damage. I want to use these cards to wrap up the game now. Sleep would do the trick very nicely. Guess I don't want to auto-yield. Ooh, Gearsmith Guardian. That's pretty strong, and it is a 5/5 under my control. But I'm still just playing Volcanic Dragon. Oh, Exclusion Mage. Alright, well. Let's say goodbye to your Gearsmith Guardian. Yeah, just get rid of that. And now I think I can attack with everything. At the very minimum, I can go boom, boom, boom. That's a lethal attack. They could double block a 4/2 and take 6. Or they could eat this 1/1 and then not kill another creature. I like getting the 1/1 in here. They're casting something. Mighty Leap on the 3/5. That's a nice play. It does let them save their guy, gain 3, and they're still going to take 5, so they'll be at 5 at the end of this turn. Oh, they're going to take 6 and gain 3, so they'll be at 4. Oh, that's perfect. Volcanic Dragon territory. Opponent's like a kind of pseudo-aggressive blue-white deck. We've seen 1 artifact out of them so far. Alright, Drill Master, that's going to go ahead and gain them some extra life, which is nice for them. I'm completely fine taking the hit, though. So they're going to play that plus the 5/5. Let's see if we can actually kill them with Active Treason. Don't think so. Ooh. Boy. Let's see. If I Active Treason the 5/5, attack with everything. They have to block the 5/5. And then they trade Drill Master for the 4/2. And then it's my 2/2s versus I get in 4, put them down to 3. They have 1 card in hand. Not too worried about it. We're going to go Oracle here. Yeah, I'm just going to go Oracle and pass. Again, Volcanic Dragon. Unfortunately, I have not drawn the 6th land. Otherwise, this probably would have wrapped up the game. I do need to wrap up the game before they draw another card like Sift, though, and put too many threats or more lifelinkers on the board. Pegasus Courser's fine. Actually, Pegasus Courser with Active Treason does get me in there, doesn't it? At the very least, I'm going to Active Treason into this Dark Dwellers, which is nice. Dwindle on the lifelinker would work as well. But yeah, we're going to do this. So what happens if I go Active Treason your Pegasus, attack for 5 in the air, assuming they don't have a card left, and then get rid of it and hope to hit a land? Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3. This seems pretty sweet. They have 1 card left in hand. Don't get to kill them here. Opponent is definitely holding on tight, but I do get to jump my Ogre, and then I get to sacrifice their Pegasus. And they're down to 2 as well. So activate, just hoping to hit a land here. Sacrifice your creature. Manolith. Alright, I'm actually 100% fine with Manolith not being on top of my library. I do just want to hit a 6th land, right? What you got, opponent? Angel of the New Dawn. Let's him attack with this thing again. Kind of obnoxious. We are getting hit for a lot now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think I'm just going to take the hit. Oh, no. I clicked 1. That's obnoxious. Alright, well, whatever. I drew the 6th land, but I guess I clicked too fast. I went to go click end step, and now I don't get to play my Volcanic Dragon. That's actually really obnoxious, and I'm at 4 life. What garbage. Now they have a chance of winning this game that they shouldn't be winning. At least this forces them to block with the Angel. Yeah, wow. They would have won that game anyway. Oh, just need to draw the 6th land ahead of time there. That super sucks. I feel like I should have won that game, but they got me. Essence Scatter again looks a little bit better than just one of these splash cards, and we'll run it back. I'm not entirely sure how we lost that game. Playing the Volcanic Dragon would not have mattered there if they had sleep, though. So maybe we should have traded a couple of our creatures there, since Volcanic Dragon was kind of our game plan, but we also just kind of needed a 6th land. We'll play first, and this hand is not great, but I'm going to keep it and just hope to draw a couple creatures off the top. At least, I mean, it has interaction, which is why I'm keeping it. Opponent's scrying as well. And opponent kept on top. So this is the type of hand that gets really good with a curve out. Let's hit some creatures. Oh, that's a start. Although they have that 1/3, it's pretty bad. That 1/3 actually saved them last game. Probably going to dwindle it right away so I can start attacking. Unless I play another creature. Well, I'll hold tight on that creature. We're just going to dwindle this right away and get in some damage. Yeah, this actually saved them. The lifelink on that, they used a bunch of tricks on it and got them through. Alright, that dies. Aviation Pioneer is pretty good against what I've got going on so far. That's a good draw too, because I get to play this now and then also hold up Essence Scatter, which is nice. Not going to disperse this by any means. Could be dispersing one of my own creatures back at some point, but that's not great. Yeah, I'll Essence Scatter this. Not guaranteed to have a better target. Pyromancer could attack here. Ooh, Horizon Scholar is going to be good at some point. Active Treason looks bad. Disperse looks bad. Just attack with the 2/1. The attack really doesn't get better. Yeah, I guess they could do that, actually. That was bad. Yeah, they drew their land. Gallant Cavalry. So now I'm in a lot of trouble. I guess I can disperse the token, which I'm going to do. They have a lot of things that pay them off for having extra bodies. Attack with the 1/2? No. Alright, let's go and disperse your token. and draw. 4-2 is not bad here. Doesn't deal with the 2-2, but does deal with the 1-2. Hoping to just get Horizon Scholar down, honestly. Daybreak Chaplain's nice. I'll keep the 4-2 back on defense for that. Could attack with this 2-2 here. I'm tempted to trade the Goblin tokens for it, but I could also just take 2. And run into a Mighty Leap or something like that. Exclusion Mage is a nice one. At the very least, it lets me add a little bit more pressure to the board. Obviously, it's going to go on this thing since the other two make tokens when it comes into play. But I want to go ahead and offer my opponent and trade for the 2-2 here. Nah, that seems bad. 4-drop, another, Leonin War Leader. I might actually active treason that. I get to eat the 1-1s though. Island. If they back that up with a combat trick, I'm in a little bit of trouble. That is a little bit of trouble. I can eat the 2-2s pretty easy, so I'm not too worried about that. The hit, they would just take 4 and then eat the 2 1-1s. I really need a way to sacrifice it for this to be really good. So I'll wait a turn on that. If they attack with it, I might go like just block with the ogre. Oh, sleep me. Okay. So they're going to look to build out the board. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then next turn they could just kill me if I don't play anything. That is the power of sleep. Thud, huh? That's pretty good. Thud was a good draw, because now I get to attack. I get to gain a little bit of life back here. They get to block 1 for free, but I hit them for 5, and I get the Thud taking out a 2-2. Oh wow, they just didn't freely block one of these. Seems bad. What are we killing with Thud? Probably a 2-2. We could deal 4 to them, but they're going to gain 2 of it back. Yeah, I like just killing a creature here. Actually, yeah. Let's go and target that, take that, sack that. So we're not dead to sleep, but they do get to gain 2 more life, so it's going to be 15 to 9. Them having at least a 1-3 lifelinker. They could have prevented 1 damage to them. I guess they were playing around some sort of spell. I don't really know what. I wouldn't mind drawing the Goblin Dark Dwellery Oracle thing, just because I have some expendable creatures. And the Swamp was a pretty good draw too. Question is, do I have good attacks? Could attack with this and just see if it eats a trick. If it eats a whatchamacallit, that's not good though. A Mighty Leap. So let's play Horizon Scholar and get some scry action going on. Pyromancer's Havoc Devils. I kind of like both of these. I don't think the Pyromancer's super impactful now though, so I'm going to bottom that. And then probably just keep Havoc Devils on top. It is action, right? And just pass the turn. I'm not about running into this Mighty Leap here. If I attack with the 4-2, which is my best attack, and they Mighty Leap this, they're just up 3 life. I guess they're down a Mighty Leap, but that's it. Luminous Bonds here. Okay. Already used my Disperse, right? Yep. Does give me a good little sacrifice outlet if that's what I want to do. Do I try and get him to use a Mighty Leap now so I can play another creature and start attacking with that? I just feel like they really have Mighty Leap. Let's just pass the turn here. Draw Electrify would be fantastic. Just blow them out in response to a combat trick. But cards I need to play around are Inspired Charge, which is probably certainly in my opponent's deck, based on a lot of cards they already have. I could draw Sleep as well, and that would come very close to wrapping up the game. Or I could draw... I guess I don't have Salvager of Secrets in my deck. Ooh, if they make a bad attack here, I could eat some creatures. But it's possible they just don't attack with anything. Like, yeah, they don't really have good attacks. Havoc Demon can eat this. Oh god, is there a 1-mana blue spell I need to worry about? Oh, I guess I'm at a very low life total, so they do have a little bit of an advantage on me here. Alright, well, Havoc Demons can eat this. I guess 1/1s can trade off. They are going up to 19. I'm going to go up to 11 this way. I don't love getting rid of the 4/2 here. So I'll probably just trade off 2/2s like this. They're going to want to get rid of the 2/2, so that gives me a point of lifelink back. 1, 2. And then not going to trade off the 4/2, keep a 1/1 back. Are there better blocks? Yeah, let's do this. Opponent will be left with Angel and Cat. I will be left with these, I suppose. And my life total stayed the same. Problem here being that they do have an Angel, so they got some sort of action going on. But at least now I get to hit for 8 and put a pretty big beater on board. And I'm hoping to draw Sleep. Oh, what's that block all about? They're trying to race me? Maybe they have a way to pump up this Angel or something. Like if they play another 3-power flyer next turn. Come on, Sleep off the top. Or something active. Dwindle the Inferno Helion. It can still attack, which isn't irrelevant. I do have to find a way to kill them. I can suicide this cat in to make it so that this doesn't straight up kill me in 2 turns. The Helion still gets a point of damage in, though. And they have an even Wind Mage, so I am dead to a spell next turn, but this is a pretty good draw. I can attack with these. Is it worth attacking with this Helion? I don't think I really have an answer to Dwindle. I could get that cat in there too. I think I'm actually going to throw the cat in there, because if they have any instant or sorcery, they get to kill me with this Aven Wind Mage, and that life's going to matter. Plus, they would take 8 if they don't block either of these anyway. Maybe I should have attacked with the Inferno Helion. Alright, so I need them to not really have anything, and I need to draw pretty well as well. So any pump spell, like Mighty Leap does it, or 2 instants sorcery does it, another Angel does it. Hopefully they're not just slow rolling me here. Hopefully they're thinking about whether it's profitable to attack or do whatever. Because I do have lethal coming back at them if they don't kill me this turn. I should have attacked with this thing as well. Oh well. Alright, what you got? If they play Mighty Leap after waiting like 20 seconds, I'm going to be a little peeved. Just a little bit, though. Active Treason would be good here. The Oracle wouldn't be bad because it would give me another shot at drawing something. Dwindle that thing. Alright. They're doing math here to see if I can kill them. So they're probably going to attack with... Or maybe they can't attack, though. Because I have 10 damage on board, even through these 2 effects. Let's see if their last card's a dud or not. Ooh, Active Treason. That's what we wanted, right? So... if I Active Treason the Angel and attack with everything, they block the Angel, they take 10, right? I've got to assume their last card is nothing. The alternative is... At any rate, this is going to target here. There's no doubt about that. The alternative is sacrificing the Angel. In case they have something, they can block Angel, and let's say they have a bounce spell for the Demon. Then what happens? Because I'm thinking, should I just sacrifice and try to kill him on the next turn? 3. If they block here, they have... I'm just seeing how likely it is they have an interactive spell in hand. I don't think it's very likely, and they don't technically have lethal on me on the way back unless they draw well. I'm not going to use this ability. Alright, we got it. Nice. So go into game 3 against this opponent. They're blue-white tempo, basically. Dwindle just seems fine, right? Maybe we should have that in the deck in the first place. Manolith actually seems less fine with these black cards. Or I took out the Harpy. I think I'm just going to bring in another card that does something here. Yeah, let's just cut a Manolith for a Dwindle. Seems like a good match. We managed to fight through that sleep with a pretty well-timed Thud. And it gave us those lifelinkers, so Thud was a good one. Yeah, lead off with the Mountain. Did go 2-drop, 3-drop here, so we do have action. That card is very good against us. Brawl Bash, huh? Brawl Bash into Active Treason will get us out of whatever sticky situation we end up being in. So I kind of like that I've drawn this, even if they have one of their better cards against us here. Like, it can even just attack here. They play Aviation Pioneer. Then their board looks pretty good against us, right? Oh, Pegasus Courser. Ah, there's Sleep, but no blue mana is kind of awkward. Also, I don't even have a good attack here, so they're going to gain some life and start damaging us. Play Brawl Bash next turn. Hopefully just draw a couple blue sources and beat them up. Well, that does make this a good beater for Brawl Bash. And I do get to attack back with the Viashno. Their life total basically goes down 1, but I go down 2. And Cinder Baron. So I'm not going to play that this turn. It's also not really even an exceptionally good drop. So let's attack for 2 and get Brawl Bash in there. Drew both the black sources. That's kind of awkward. This is an attack trigger, so I can actually steal Pegasus Courser, attack with Brawl Bash, give it flying, and then sacrifice it to the Brawl Bash. Pretty sure I can do all that. I might just want to take this stupid 1/3 though, but Pegasus Courser is definitely worse for me in the long run, I think. Although that lifelink saved them game 1. Hopefully they just play like their Leonin War Leader here. Ah, that's good. Okay, drawing blue sources now would be great. Island, yes. Because Sleep will be fantastic. So, I do think it's at the point where I want to take something with this Active Treason and sack it to the Brawl Bash. Question is, what do I want to take? Because if I take Pegasus Courser, it's probably going to be Pegasus Courser. I could block this. I'll take 3 the next turn. They'll gain 1, but I do get in 5 this turn. Actually, I get in 7 this turn because I can attack with Pyromancer and give that flying. This has Menace. And then the turn after, I'm hoping to draw Sleep. Or Blue card, or Exclusion Mage, or something relevant, right? Plus Brawl Bash can eat this Ogre. So yeah, let's get Pegasus Courser off board. Might be best to get 2/4 off board, just because it's the best source of damage, but Courser's going to mess us up in the long game if we don't do something about it. So I'm going to go boom, 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 take Pegasus Courser, go to combat and attack with all, give this flying, and then this will sacrifice Pegasus Courser. So I get in 7 this turn, which is nice. Evens out the life total, but I am going down to at least 12 on my turn. So that was a good turn. I get to add to the board, I get to bash back, literally bash back on my turn, assuming there's no Dwindle, which there might be. Could be a Dwindle in my future. No attack. Huh. Ah, well, I have the option to sleep them now. Attack for 5, 6, 7, down to 8. Or I could just play an Ogre and bide my time here. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. Kind of like holding up on Sleep and getting this other 4/2 down, right? Because what are they planning on doing? Planning on using a combat trick to kill my Brawl Bash Ogre? Sleeping them also means I'm not going to get attacked back on their turn. At least it's extremely unlikely. I could just draw into like another Active Treason or something like that, and that would make this Brawl Bash very good. I don't think there's like a destroy target attacker, and it doesn't seem like they have a bounce spell. They didn't attack, so it seems like they're doing something to get around Menace here. So I'm going to go ahead and just sleep them. And they're ready with a cancel. So they could still have, like, active treason or something like that. I'm going to attack with it. Or if they have Mighty Leap on this, how bad is that? Not really that bad. I trade this for a 1-3 and a Mighty Leap, and then it's their 2-4 versus my 2-1, and we both have one card in hand, essentially. Yeah, I like doing this. I'm going to sack my 4-2. The Menace just makes this nice, like, we'll see what they do. They could just also take 5 here, but that makes their attack seem really weird. Alright, I'm going to leave it exactly how it is. Just because if I put the dwarf first and they Mighty Leap that, they don't lose anything. So yeah, exactly how we predicted. So they're 18 to our 15. They've got a much better creature on board than we do, but I think we have possibly better top decks than them. Although that's a pretty good creature at this moment. Probably going to have to trade the 4-2 for this 2-4. Alright. And, ooh, Exclusion Mage is a nice one there. I can actually play both of these and get in 2 damage this turn, so I like that. Nice little tempo play. Get out of here, Aven Wingod. Some of my best draws would be Volcanic Dragon. Gravedigger would be a nice one. They attack with this dwarf. I'm almost certainly not blocking. Alright, here comes the Aven Wind Mage, and they have 1 unknown card in hand. Dwarf does not come in. Pyromancer is not terrible either. I think I'm going to send the Ogre in, and the reason I'm doing that is it means if they trade off with the 2-4, at least my creatures can start attacking into their creatures. I have to watch out for instants and sorceries, of course. I guess that block makes sense, too. Yeah, that makes sense. That way, I don't have great attacks against them now. I guess I didn't consider that block, but I'm fine with them losing their flying source of damage. I've got to draw something that threatens them before they draw their angels and stuff like that, though. Ooh, active treason? I don't think I want to use that right now, though. I think I've still got a couple cards that make it good. I could draw Thud. I can draw the Goblin Oracle. I could draw Gravedigger and get back this Ogre. The Brawl Bash Ogre. Alright, Wall of Mist is not good here, but it's not bad either. Ah, Thud. Alright, so what if I go take your dwarf now, Thud you, or attack for, I'll get in 6 damage, put him down to 8, and then I Thud them, put him down to 6, and then I gotta fog them having a couple more creatures. I think that's probably good enough. Yeah, let's do this. I think this gives me a pretty good line of play. I mean, I can attack into the wall, which is really why I'm doing this. If they were able to eat a creature with the wall here, I'd be less inclined to do so. Unfortunately, I can't Thud the wall, so kill that, pay red, sack your dwarf. This puts them down to 6. So I have lots of good top decks here. I have used both of my active treasons. Ooh, and they conceded the game, which I'm not sure why they did that, considering I don't have lethal on them, but I'll take it. Let's see if we can 2-1 with this deck. Feels good. See you there. Alright, and here we are. We got to play this time with a decent hand. If any of these lands was an Exclusion Mage, this would be a fantastic hand. But we could potentially draw into some 2 and 3 drops. I don't mind going Ogre into like something, and hopefully we don't just hit a bunch of lands. Plus we got this Dragon. The Dragon's good. I might be overrating Volcanic Dragon, but I mean it looks sweet, so what am I going to do? Complain? Manolith's fine. I'm probably not going to play that on turn 3, though, unless my opponent plays like a stupid wall or something. Ooh, against Black-Red as well. And they have a Child of Night. Well, that's very obnoxious against my deck. This, unfortunately, is not on curve, so I could go Manolith this turn and then go Ogre plus Pyromancer next turn. Or I could just play the Ogre, but anything I play here is trading off for Child of Night, so by the end of next turn, I'll have these 2 creatures on board anyway. there's no reason to not play Manawith here, not just accept the fact that my opponent's going to gain some life off Child of Night. Really, all that changes there is that they're down 2 potential life, or rather, they gain 2 less life if I trade off this turn. But I think the net here is that I end up with the 3 cards that I'm looking at playing all on the battlefield within the next 2 turns, rather than next 3 turns. But we're gonna go Pyromancer into Onake Ogre, and it looks like they might have a Shock or a Lightning Strike or something like that. And the Pyromancer at least takes away the 2 damage they did. Not attack in, but let's not forget to play our Ogre, huh? And I can play Volcanic Dragon next turn, which is probably good against Black Raid. What is this? Oh, flashing in a 3-2. Sure. Well, that's better than them shocking a creature, I suppose. I'll trade Pyromancer for either of these ones that want to attack. And it is possible if they want to attack with both, I'll just put 2 creatures in front and tap out for Volcanic Dragon next turn. There's a Ravenous Harpy. Ooh. Well, Active Treason is good against sacrifice creatures as well. Because if I Active Treason this right now, they have to sacrifice it, otherwise I get to do so. And I think that's what I'm going to do, so that they can't untap and go like Active Treason you or some nonsense like that. Let's go take your bird. I could just play Volcanic Dragon, but I do feel like my opponent's going to go Active Treason your thing, sack it to the Ravenous Harpy, and I don't really want that to happen. So let's go ahead and take the Harpy. They probably sack it in response, which is fine. Oh, they let me have it, so they're going to make me use 1 more mana to get in a damage. Can this sack it? Oh, it can't even sack itself. That's so bad. That's dumb. I messed up. Yeah, I messed up there. Alright, that was pretty bad. Should have just played Volcanic Dragon and attacked. Oh well. Made a mistake. I felt like I just read it and it said sacrifice a creature, but it is sacrifice another creature. So we can't do that, and we kind of threw away an Active Treason for 1 damage, which is not good. Let's see if they Active Treason now as well. If things attacking, fine by me. Man, I threw away that Active Treason. That's so bad. And I could have attacked for 4 there. Not good, not good. We're still going to play Volcanic Dragon this turn and attack, but we missed out on 4 damage. That's a 2-headed zombie. Don't care too much about that. Although it is good on this board. Ooh, Gravedigger. Does mean I can get back a Volcanic Dragon. Also means I can kind of aggressively trade off some of my creatures here. If they attack, I can put like both creatures in front of 2-headed zombie, or I can just trade off these 2. I don't think I'm doing too well against this opponent at the moment, though. Especially with the lifelinker on board. They've essentially gained 4 extra life this game. And I kind of wasted a card that I should not have wasted. Let's see, I can go Gravedigger plus replay a 3-drop. On this board, the 2-1's basically the same as the 4-2, so I might just get this back since it guarantees 2 damage on the opponent. Oh, I was expecting these to come back, but since they're only attacking with these 2, I'm actually going to double block, and if they want to do something, that's fine. But having Gravedigger means I'm much more inclined to get the source of damage off board. Yeah, I'll probably go like Gravedigger into the 2-1 unless I draw something really good here. I was expecting them to attack with all 3 creatures. Diregraph, cool. Okay. Not too worried about that one. Drawing the swamp was pretty bad there. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack with Volcanic Dragon first and see if that gets through. You can see how they might be able to race Volcanic Dragon. They can make a creature that's bigger than my dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's better? I kind of like actually getting the Pyromancer here, since all of these creatures trade anyway. If the 4-2 just ends up trading for a creature, then I would like to make sure I've gotten some value off of it. The exception, of course, is if they have a way to deal 2 damage to a creature, or 1 damage to a creature, then the Pyromancer dies to that. Like if they have the horse that deals, or gives -1/-1 to all of your creatures. Oh, imagine how this hand would be if I had an active treason right now. I could actually come close to killing him with the Harpy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They would be at 10 life. Yeah, I would be close to killing them, especially if they start sacking their own creatures to the Harpy. But there is a chance that they don't attack with Harpy, and I could get them to sack their board to trade for Volcanic Dragon, which would just blow them out if they had a spell. Oh, this is still coming in, huh? So they're not worried about Volcanic Dragon smacking them back, or they've got a kill spell, or they've got another flyer. Surprise, Child of Night has not gotten back in there. Sleep would come close to finishing this game out. Alright, 3 in hand from the opponent, and they're not worried about Volcanic Dragon necessarily, because that or they really don't want to go all in on the Harpy, which is understandable, but I am empty-handed. Ooh, Disperse is a nice one, so if they try to do something fancy like kill my dragon here, I can disperse them, or I can even disperse back Gravedigger. I like this a lot. Volcanic Dragon's getting in there. Expect them to, like, electrify it or something. No? Hate that hit. Alright. Bizarre. Another Hired Blade. Okay. Well, they're not dead if they... Or, like, they've still got a 2-turn clock here. I don't think Harpy's getting in there, but they should probably start attacking with their other creatures. Have to trade off for Child of Night. They're going to go Active Treason your... Or do they have the Active Treason now? Death Baron. Other skeletons you control and other zombies you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. So that only affects Diregraphical, becomes a 3/3 Death Toucher. Alright. So now I expect a big attack here. I'll trade off my 2 guys for 2 of their guys. I can see definitely bouncing Gravedigger back, getting some more value off of it. But I think Gravedigger is going to need to bounce this Harpy. Oh, if they only attack with this, I'm in love with that. Guess they can't attack with too many creatures because I do have lethal between these 2. Also, if I draw Active Treason, I do actually get to just win this time. I don't think their last card's something super relevant based on how they didn't play last turn. They didn't have double black last turn either, so I think they drew a Swamp for this turn to play Death Baron. Death Baron's a neat card. I kind of hate that they made a bunch of rare tribal creatures but didn't really put enough tribal payoff for it. Death Baron's one of the ones that I think there were like, what, 9 zombies in this set, so it pays you off a little bit more. Oh yeah, any of these 3/2s start attacking, then I'm putting 2/2s in front of them. Child of Night, I'll snap off a block with the Pyromancer. Opponent's really considering what to do here, which is fine. Alright, Child of Night coming in is fine. Let's go block here, no block on your 3/3. They are close to swinging out on me too. Another blue is not what I want to draw, but I am going to go ahead and keep it in the hand. Let's go Volcanic Dragon. Oh, please go all in on this dragon. Sack a bunch of creatures. They would have to sack at least 3 creatures for this to survive, and then I just disperse it. And basically, I get rid of 4 creatures on their board. Oh my god, they're going to go for it. Oh, they're going to go for it. Alright, so let them sack some creatures. Unless they're going to, like, shock plus do something. Oh my god. They're about to get blown out so hard, I can't believe they're doing this. Let him sack the creature and then disperse in response. Wow. Alright, now we go bye-bye Harpy. Oh, not on the activated ability, though. Jeez. Now we are crushing them. They just sacked 3 of their own creatures for us. They just eliminated themselves. That was brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Can't believe they went for it there. I'm surprised my opponent hasn't been way more aggressive this game. Especially, like, why not attack with those creatures if you're planning on just sacrificing them there? They're on 1 card in hand. Anything that attacks me is getting blocked by Gravedigger. Just because that's less fodder for them to do the same thing with that Ravenous Harpy. They need 3 other creatures to get this up to the point where it can block Volcanic Dragon. Alright, Inferno Hellion is strong. I don't really want to attack with Gravedigger. They could block with Harpy and sack Death Baron. But, okay. Blocking with the Harpy, and then I'm going to play an Inferno Hellion, which is probably going to close out the game on my next turn. Find it hard to believe it won't when they've got 4 trample damage or 4 flying damage coming in already. So they're going to have 2 really good cards in hand here. Could have like a Macabre Waltz or something like that. That would be 1, 2, and then they would have 6 mana left over, so they could go like Harpy plus another 3-drop. That'd be pretty decent. But this is a 7-power Trampler. They're at 7. Taking 4 in the air. I'm going to go in F6 and... Ooh, what just happened there? Electrify. Yeah, Electrify on the 7-3 makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and attack with both my dudes. They're going to trade Death Baron for Gravedigger, I assume. And then I get to play a 4-3 Trampler. So even that was a good draw. So, it doesn't look like I'm going to get super punished for my extremely bad misplay of Active Treason in a creature that can't sacrifice itself. Ooh, is my opponent's last card something good here? Or they're debating whether this needs to stay on the board or not? Oh, they're going to go down to 1 instead of sacrificing this. Wonder what the reasoning behind that is. Kind of makes sense, I suppose, but now I think they're just dead. Yeah. Alright, so we got not punished for our extremely poor play, and then we punished our opponent for doing probably what it was right for them to do. Not too disappointed with it, but let's see. Let's play a little bit better, huh? This should probably be in my deck. It actually seems decent with like the Active Treasons. It's just another copy in the late game. I've been cutting like Havoc Devils here, but I actually like it against this opponent. I still just really like the Essence Scatter though, so I might go goodbye Manolith again. Hello, Essence Scatter. And we'll see if we can win another one and 2-1 this bad boy. Look, if I 2-1 my first draft and my loss was to a Banefire, I think I can accept that, alright? I think I can accept that. This is a great lesson for when you draft a new set, read the cards. RTFC, as they say. It's clearly written right there, sack another creature. Also, why would the Harpy be able to eat itself anyway, right? Doesn't make much sense, but... Because this one... No, this one can't sacrifice itself either. There are a lot of creatures that can just, like, randomly sacrifice themselves, and it doesn't make sense, but apparently these ones are not. You see how this deck wants to play out, though. Like, we've got blue in here, so we're kind of a hybrid between, like, this blue-white tempo deck and this black-red sacrifice deck, but black-red is based around these few cards, and the skeleton that can come back from the graveyard. Alright, bring it on, Slinky One. I got you, little ATOG-looking self. Just kidding. Mad respect, Slinky. Mad respect. Ooh. Well, I took out Manolith, so it's not looking like we're going to be able to cast this card anytime soon, but at least we don't even need to think about that for 4 turns. Turn 1 Diregraph Ghoul. It's going to do some damage. I'm getting at least 6-8 damage. I'm probably not going to disperse it either. Opponent could aggro us here. If they have a 2-drop this turn, that's going to be really good. Doom Dissenter is not quite the 2-drop I care about, but it's really good with the Ravenous Harpy. This is the card I was looking for, really. That was a great draw. Now I just need them to not draw Death Baron, because Death Baron would make this a 3/3. But if they attack with Diagraph Ghoul, I am snapping off the block with Pyromancer. Just saves me a lot of damage that I don't really have business taking for now. And Havoc Devils, I mean, their creatures are fairly small. So a 4/3 looks pretty good against things like 2/2 here, and they're just attacking with Doom Dissenter, so I don't think they have too much going on. Ah, nice. So I could play another Pyromancer, or I could keep up Essence Scatter, and I think the Scatter is going to be a little bit better, because they could have Two-Headed Giant here or something like that, and I'd have to trade 2 creatures anyway. I'm hoping I get to just Essence Scatter something here. Doom Dissenter comes in again. Diagraph Ghoul comes in this time? Maybe they have Gravedigger. But I'm going to make the block. This does make it look like they're going to play a creature, too. Nice, we got that 2-headed zombie. Man, so smart. I do need to draw a 4th land, though. Play Havoc Devils. Swamp? Oh, nice. Well, we're just going to play out our best creature here. There's some merit to, like, playing Devils and hoping they target this with a removal spell, but if they play any relevant creature on their turn, I can Active Treason it and actually sacrifice it this time. And, oh my god, is this guy just slinging around goblins? Oh my god. Card's kind of cool. Dumb name, but kind of cool, right? I feel pretty good about this match right now. My hand's, all castable spells. I've got a Wombo combo against any absurdly good creature. I get electrified here, but that's fine because I have things to follow up with. That's why you could potentially play the Havoc Devils first, but I'm not about that life. I am about that life of playing 4/3 Tramplers against my opponent's 1/1s, though. And they are down to 3 cards. Now, Active Treason looks a little bit worse because I can't sack whatever creature they get, but I assume they're not attacking me, and what would that even mean if they attack me? Supernatural, whatchamacallit? I'm going to go ahead and attack them. I have Disperse to back things up in case things go wrong. They're probably going to block just to upgrade this, I assume. It's not a bad idea. Dispersing the token's actually not terrible either. But the 2/2 doesn't match up well against a 4/3, so I'll hold off on doing that unless I really need to. Then I'll just play this Pyromancer. I like this card. I don't know why people don't love it. I mean, I know why, because 2/1s for 2 are not generally great, especially in formats that actually have, like, 1/1s floating around, but I like that this always gets damage off, and then, you can trade it for, like, a zombie or something like that. I think these red decks really want this card. They want 2-drops already, and 2-drops that come in and automatically deal damage seem great to me. Alright, what you got, opponent? Oh boy, what is this? Meteor Golem. Well, that's going to target Havoc Devil. I might just bounce Havoc Devils back to my hand. Well, Meteor Golem is great. Comes down, destroys any non-land permanent. I'll let him go ahead and target, and I guess I disperse this. Just because it's my only real action right now. It's not even great against the 3/3, but at least it means I'm not dead in the water if I just draw a bunch of lands here. Oh, or we could just draw that. Alright, well now my opponent's on a little bit of a clock here, and I have Active Treason that they don't really know about, so we'll leave the onus on them to deal with our gigantic flyer. This is why I like Volcanic Dragon. If you're ahead, it just, pressures your opponent out of nowhere. It's extremely obnoxious to play against. But, I mean, Meteor Golem is strong. Not the card I was expecting out of this zombie deck. I will trade off Pyromancer for a token if it attacks. No attack, what? How do you not attack there, though? I can't play Havoc Devil and Active Treason, so we'll just attack with the flyer. And then I'm pretty sure they're dead next turn if they don't put another creature on board. Actually, they're dead anyway. If they have absolutely nothing and I attack with everything, they die. That's without Active Treason, because their best blocks are like block here, take 1 trample damage. Switching those blocks around makes them take more damage. But they've got Lathless. Oh, this card is busted. 6 mana 6/6 flyer is already good. It has Fire Breathing for all your dragons, and then if you ever play another dragon, you get to make a 5/5. So it just wins you the game when you play a dragon. But It's also a super dope target for active treason because that makes your opponent take 6 from their own creature. And yeah, I guess just in case something super... Nah, I might as well send that 2-1 in as well. Nothing is going to go wrong here with my opponent's 0 cards. They're just going to take 10 in the air. And we do come out of this at 2-1, which is respectable, but we dropped that first game, which I think just, my opponent drew very well, and, I can gripe about it all I want, but they had a good deck, basically the same thing I was doing, and this was a great showing for the red-black deck, with the blue component being pretty good too, but just in general, the sacrifice theme deck, if you can pick up those active treasons, then you got a real deck on your hands, so hopefully that's a good lesson to start off with, and we learned a little bit about the cards, which is always what I want to be doing. But I know this video is on the longer side, so I'll go and let people go. As always, I appreciate y'all watching. My name's Timothy with Mana Rocks, and I'll see you for more core set drafts in the future. All right, take it